Hey, it's Jack here, and we've left our confines of southern Nevada to come down here to southern Arizona to check out Tombstone. We're going to start our day right here at Boot Hill Cemetery. We're going to walk around, show you the cemetery, and then later on the video, of course, we're going to show you Tombstone. Well, right outside the store, we have a memory of unidentified veterans, pioneers, and settlers. Roy 4 post number 24 for the American Legion. And today the flag is at half-mast. Well, this building is on the National Registry of Historical Places, the United States Department of the Interior. So the sign on the gift shop says the tickets are next door. So we're going to go next door, pay $3 cash, and go check it out. And this is our entrance to Boot Hill Graveyard. Open, come on in. So you come through, you pay your $3 cash, and they give you this map of the graveyard. They've got 250 graves, or actually more than 250 graves. And they told me that most of all the graves are identified. There's still a few unknowns out here that they're trying to figure out. But for the most part, the graves are known and they are marked. Down here at the bottom of the cemetery, there are the graves of Tex Howard, Bill Delaney, and Dan Kelly. And next to them over here are Dan Dowd and Red Sample. They were legally hanged in March of 1884 as they were found guilty of killing several people during a store robbery in Bisbee, Arizona. Then up here we have John Heath. He was taken from the county jail and lynched by a Bisbee mob. He was a leader of the robbery, and he was hanged from a telegraph pole short distance from the courthouse. Here's an infamous grave marker. Here lies Lester Moore. 4 slugs from a 44, no less, no more. And what his story is, he was a Wells Fargo agent at NACO and had a dispute with a man over a package, and both of them died. Here's a grave of Marshall Fred White. Anybody familiar with the movie Tombstone and the history here? He was accidentally shot by Curly Bill in 1880, and here is his final resting spot. So this is the grave of Old Man Clanton. He with several other men were ambushed on a cattle drive. All but one man were killed, and that was in 1881. And from the shootout at the OK Corral, we have Billy Clanton, Tom McLaury, and Frank McLaury. They said they were murdered on the streets of Tombstone in 1881. And this is from the gunfight at the OK Corral, where the Earps and Doc Holliday took on the Clantons and McLaurys. Well, here's George Johnson. He was hung by mistake in 1882. He bought a horse, and the horse was stolen, and so they blamed George for taking the horse. As the grave marker says, he was right, we was wrong, but we strung him up, and now he's gone. So that's that. Poor George, honest guy, bought a horse, didn't know it was stolen, and he suffered the consequences. Well, this is the final resting place for the Brady brothers. No, not the Bradys from the TV show, but the Brady brothers that lived and died here in 1883. They were drowned while swimming in the San Pedro River. One died in vain trying to save his brother. They were ages 11 and 12. Over here is George Hand. He was killed by Indians. This is Emmett Crook Nunley, died in 1946. In his final year, he was helping the townspeople to restore as much as they could of the cemetery. It was at his request that he was buried here, and this is his final resting place. So you come out here to the Boot Hill Cemetery. You could spend hours out here walking around, looking at the grave markers and reading about it in the pamphlet. 250 graves, actually over 250 graves out here. I highly recommend coming out here to the Boot Hill Cemetery on your visit to Tombstone. It ties a lot of the history in, as well as the townsfolk and people who died out here. Most of them did not die naturally. They died of tragic causes, and that's all covered in the pamphlet. I featured some of those graves on this, but I could do a vlog just on the graveyard alone. So when you come out here, check out the graveyard. Well worth your time, and the $3 spent goes toward the upkeep of the graveyard. Very good cause. I want to add one more thing. When you come out here, wear the appropriate footwear. As I was walking down row here, I saw a lady fall on her arse and she was wearing flip-flops. Not appropriate. This is dirt and rock, and a lot of the rocks are rounded off so you could slip and fall, which is what this lady did. So wear the appropriate footwear when you're out here, something a little traction. I don't advise flip-flops or open-toed shoes out here. Put some sneakers on, set of boots or something appropriate for walking in the desert terrain. They have clean public restrooms out here if you paid the admission, and there's also more inside the gift shop. Well, let's go inside the gift shop and check this out. So here in the gift shop they have t-shirts to commemorate your visit to the Boot Hill Cemetery / graveyard. If you need a pop, they've got plenty of pop, and they also have water here. They have magnets, koozies, canvas bag. I'm your Huckleberry. If you want to read about the history of Tombstone and the surrounding area, they have a full book section. And they got your coffee mug, shot glasses. And over here's what I always look for, the collector pins. You got sheriff pins, some actual writing pins right here, a few magnets. There's a replica of the Lester Moore grave marker, famous badges of the Old West. And this is the pin I'm going to get right here, Tombstone, Arizona, that looks like a sheriff badge. Over here they have Justice is Coming, but Tombstone Sarsaparilla is here, Gunfighter Collection. We're going to get ourselves a 4-pack of this. We're going to get ourselves the collector pin badge. So behind me is the Wyatt Earp house, and depending on what you want to believe, this may not have been a house that Wyatt Earp lived in. Based on the research I did, the house may have been built in the 1900s and not the 1870s, 1880s when Wyatt Earp was here. We're still going to check it out. It's kind of cool. They've got some stuff out front. It is a private residence, so we cannot go inside, but we'll check out the front and see what it looks like. Beside the Wyatt Earp house is this large statue of Wyatt Earp. And over here is the house itself. And they have this horse and buggy over here on this side. Well, here is the OK Corral, famous for the shootout at the OK Corral. We're going to go in and check that out right now. OK Corral, walk where they fell. OK Corral gunfight site, enter right here. Okay, we paid our admission. It's $10 a head to come in. You get to do a gunfight show, and they're going to be starting a gunfight show here momentarily. So we're going to walk in, check that out first before we check out the rest of everything else here. Got this facade for their set. Got CS Fly Photographer, Oriental Saloon, established 1880. You've got the city jail and this Tombstone epitaph.
I said, are you ready?
Woo! Yeah!
That's a little better. Okay? You want my gun so bad? Thank you. Put yours up. I'll give you mine. Yeah! Hold on, that's not what I want! Come on, boy, get it! All right, Longer! You want to play for blood? I'm your Huckleberry. Yeah! And that, folks, is our show. We hope you enjoyed it!
You're outside the gunfight area. They have these animatronics that depict the individuals who were involved in the gunfight at OK Corral. This is the Fly Studio and boarding house. And in here they talk about the history of Tombstone. Here is the founder. He founded this in 1877. He was a silver prospector. And across the walls here are photos of the town. According to the sign on the wall, this was the Doc Holliday room. On the chair we have Big Nose Kate's dress. Here we have a photo op. It's a wagon where you can sit down and get your photo done. So back here on the OK Corral, the gunfight actually took place in an alley next to OK Corral, but this is the actual corral. And this is pretty cool because they've got original adobe brick that the corral was made out of. This was, of course, a horse corral. And right here we have the Cowboy Bathtub. It looks like this guy has been taking a bath for quite a while. They have static displays telling about the Texas cowboy saddle. Here's some firefighting equipment. Here's some buggies, some Surrey buggies with their canopy on top there. Over here's an actual blacksmith shop. What is it you're making?
I ran out of my little horseshoe keychain. Family coming back for some.
So he's got his fire all fired up here, and he's going to make a horseshoe keychain or two.
I do once I hammer into kind of a flat bar, I cut it into 3.5 inch pieces, and then I do the shaping of it. There's the little line you see going through horseshoes. Shape, I want to open up the bottom a little bit, so got the same little cut-off tool. I'll just use that kind of a wedge and try and slice. And you got
That's your finished product.
Yep. All it needs to have a little hole drilled through it. I normally put a little wax on afterwards to help with rusting and give a nice dark appearance. But yeah, that's pretty much the process of it.
Nice. Well, it was pretty cool. The blacksmith, he was doing a series of 3 horseshoe keychains. He finished one in front of me so where I could see the process. Pretty darn cool. Went from a piece of metal to a little horseshoe keychain. And the blacksmith here, he was on the show Forged in Fire at one time. Well, today for lunch we're going to go inside the Crystal Palace. And we're here at the Crystal Palace Saloon for lunch today. This is the menu. On this side is their burgers. They have appetizers and beverages. They've got sandwiches. They normally have pizza, but as I came in, they said they're out of pizza, so pizza is not on the menu. I ended up going with the Crystal Palace burger. I had them add some Swiss cheese to that. We got fries. I've already got the ketchup ready to go. I'll tell you about how that burger tastes in just a second. The burger comes with lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, the burger itself. If you want to add cheese, that's extra. And of course the bun. I've opted today to not have any onion or tomato. Anyways, we'll see how this flavor is. The burger is really good. The Crystal Palace burger here at the Crystal Palace. Yes, that's redundant. I imagine all their food is good based just on the burger itself. Not only the burger's good here, the service has been just over the top phenomenal. So if you're here in Tombstone, I recommend the Crystal Palace as your lunch stop. And sometimes they do have live entertainment here at the Crystal Palace. And here is their stage. Well, the bar is a replica of the original bar. The original bar was taken out during Prohibition in the 1920s, and this was built in 1963 from photos of the original bar. wall they have this original gambling wheel and also roulette wheel over here. Well, here's the original Birdcage Theater. We're gonna go inside and check out the Birdcage Theater and take the self-guided tour. Like every museum, you exit through a gift shop. Oh, they got the name wrong. It's not Whiskey Jack, it's Nevada Jack. This town now makes all of its money on tourism, so around every nook and cranny there are souvenir shops, there are museums to go into, just anything to get a few dollars out of your pocket and help support their establishment. This is the infamous Oriental Saloon. This is the same establishment that Wyatt Earp had his faro table. Across the way is the Longhorn Restaurant, family style food. If you're ever in the area, recommend coming out here to Tombstone and checking it out. There is a lot to see and do here in Tombstone. Some of the shops have a lot of the same stuff, and then there are other shops that have their specialty items that you can only get at their shop. So you got to come here, check it out, spend the whole day if you got the time, and relive Western history. And when you're walking in Tombstone, watch where you step. There are road apples. A lot of fun walking around historic Tombstone, Arizona. So much to see and do, so much history here. Hey, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Oh, it happened on the night of December 28, 1881. That's a couple of months after the gun fight.